that there was a chance that it was going to be hijacked by neo-Nazis. And sure enough, the neo-Nazis were front and centre and even given microphones. And that's when people started turning their backs and booing and walking away.
You've lost us! You've lost us! We're here to say the truth about why we're protesting, and these guys are not representing what we think.
Well, that's because we don't like racist flogs like the neo-Nazis. Decent people with genuine concerns about mass migration suddenly felt uncomfortable because the guys who dress up in the black outfits and salute Adolf Hitler were given a microphone.
Nazi group ruined it.
Yeah,
that was good before that. That's why everyone's leaving now. No one stands for that.
We stand for everyone, not just a few people, you know? That's right.
The extremists ruined it for everyone. That's what happens.
Well, this weekend there's another protest at lunchtime on Sunday in Hyde Park, and the organiser, who calls herself Bec Freedom, is the same person who organised the last one. And Bec has written to us at 2GB Breakfast. She says, Ben Fordham was happy to trash talk me and use propaganda against the Australian people in regards to our last march. There was no violence that went on in Sydney, but yet he won't speak about it now. On the 19th of October, March for Australia takes back Hyde Park from foreign agendas. If he really thinks immigration rates are too high, he should have me on the show again to help promote the 19th. Bec Freedom, welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you very much for writing to us. I won't we can argue the point about, me trash talking you or propaganda or anything else, but let's focus on what's happening this weekend. Are there going to be neo-Nazis?
So apparently no. They put out a media release statement on their pages on Telegram stating that they won't be there this weekend. Apparently they don't agree with our reasons for rallying this time around, and that's fine. We don't need to have them there, so we'll continue on.
Okay, so you were the organiser last time around and there were neo-Nazis there and they were speaking on the microphone. Why?
Well, because I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech for all Australians, whether we like what they say or not. I've been at rallies in the past. My partner's been at rallies in the past where people travel for hours to get to have their say. And when they're not allowed to have their say, things don't normally go so well. We're doing these rallies for the Australian people, so I think it's important that we hear from the Australian people on how they feel about mass immigration rates in Australia at the moment.
Okay. Look, I agree about the immigration issue, and I've been talking about it for as long as you have or longer. I just don't want to go somewhere where there are neo-Nazis, Bec, because I just think that neo-Nazis are toxic, racist flogs, and that's why a lot of people turned their backs and started walking away last time around, and that's why I warned people last time, be careful, because I've been saying for years the neo-Nazis are more of a Melbourne problem, but there they were. They turned up at the Sydney protest and they grabbed the microphone that I'm guessing you supplied and they started spewing their hate. So why didn't you distance yourself last time around from the neo-Nazis, and why didn't you say to them, you're not coming to the demonstration that is being organised by me?
Well, because they're Australians and they have every right to be there just as much as anyone else. So the reason why they spoke was we did an open mic. Like I said, I'm a firm believer in freedom of speech and I believe everybody should have a voice. And it was first in, best dressed. So they were first in. We also had two what people would class as sovereign citizens, which is an oxymoron, by the way, but we had two people that were classed as sovereign citizens, and I'll be honest, I was more nervous about having them speaking than the Nazis.
Okay. At the rally you organised, the National Socialist Network officials were appointed as marshals. So who appointed them as marshals?
So I actually had no idea that they were NSN people at the time. I didn't find that out until the Sydney Morning Herald actually messaged me and told me.
Okay, so what you appointed these people as marshals for your event and you didn't know they were neo-Nazis?
Yes, so we put a call out on social medias for anybody that would like to volunteer on the day to reach out to us and put their hand up. So we had several people that were just general population, people that follow us on social media that wanted to get involved and wanted to help out on the day.
Did you ask the speakers on the day from the National Socialist Network not to mention Hitler?
I said to them quite quickly, I said, look, no hate speech, no Hitler stuff, and you're good to go, yeah.
No hate speech?
I didn't want to see anybody get arrested.
No Hitler stuff, you're good to go?
Yeah.
And you said that before the march you chatted to the National Socialist Network to confirm their intentions, and you said you wanted to agree on messaging. I'm guessing that's where you said don't mention Hitler. If you've got to say to people don't praise Hitler, don't salute Adolf Hitler, isn't that a little sign, Bec, that maybe these are people you should avoid?
Well, no, because as I said, I believe in freedom of speech for all Australians, the left get up and scream things that I don't agree with all the time. However, I defend their right to say it.
Yeah, but do you want them associated with your rally? Because there are lots of people out there who want to join this movement because they're concerned about the direction of the country, but they don't want to be associated with neo-Nazis.
That's understandable, but you'd be surprised at how much overwhelming positive feedback that we have had, even in regards to that part. A lot of people are of the opinion that if somebody starts speaking and you don't agree with it, or it makes you feel uncomfortable, or you don't like it, just zone out, don't listen, wait for the next speaker.
Yeah, there are a lot of other people who just draw a line in the sand, though, when it comes to racists.
100% there is, and I feel for them. I hope that they can get past that and attend anyway. As I said, the NSN put out a public statement saying that they won't be attending this rally on the 19th, and yeah.
You wrote an article for The Noticer, Australia's premier neo-Nazi website. Why'd you do that?
Where's your proof that it's a neo-Nazi website?
You don't think The Noticer is? It's run by the National Socialist Network.
No, it's not. The guy's been doxxed before. I've seen it around on social media. He's not part of the NSN.
Okay, so he's no longer associated with the NSN.
Well, define associated. I don't know who he's associated with in his personal life, but it's a right-wing media publishing source. I don't understand what the problem is.
Okay, and who was the person you spoke to, just out of interest, before the last rally, when you said you chatted to a National Socialist Network individual? Who was that?
It was Joel Davis.
Right, and he's not coming this time?
Well, like I said, they've put out a statement saying that they won't be attending, that they don't agree that it's the right time to be rallying. So.
Okay, and if the neo-Nazis turn up and they want to use the microphone, they're free to do so, Bec?
Well, like I said, I believe in freedom of speech for all Australians, so yes.
Okay. We appreciate your time and thanks for jumping on the line.
Awesome. Thanks, Ben.
There's Bec Freedom, the organiser of a protest that's happening this weekend. And look, my warning that I passed around last time ahead of August 31 was pretty clear. I believe in some of the same issues that these people believe in, strongly. And I've been talking about them for longer than they have. But when you get down with dogs, you get up with fleas. And I would be saying, if I was organising something like that, neo-Nazis are not welcome. And I'm not going to be having a situation where microphones are handed to racist flogs.
Sydney traffic. Almost at your destination? Got to get on with your day?